Okie dokie. Aquarius, we're going to do your December 2023 reading. I'm MJ. I'm the founder of All to Love, and you can find out more by visiting alltolove.com, and the info is in the description. You can book private readings, online yoga sessions, meditation, breathwork, and EFTs. Feel free if you're interested in any service. Otherwise, let's see what we get. My intention with tarot is to offer divine guidance and loving. I'm an intuitive reader, so it's all intuitive, doesn't necessarily look like traditional tarot. Ooh, my connection is unstable. Let me know how clear this is. I can always do another reading for you guys. So divine guidance, loving clarity for Aquarius. This is for the month of December. Aquarius, this is fairly heavy as far as getting some mental clarity, possibly around like a codependent relationship. There's the devil energy here. So there's definitely an addiction, some sort of codependency, attachment. And then there's other clarity around if you're undecided or you know you need to make a decision. There's this energy here of somebody who's been hiding something, and then the information comes out. So I feel like things are going to develop to show you what you need to do or the decision that you need to make. So you've probably intuitively, you've been feeling or sensing a person, probably work related, because there's a pentacle here. So, and like dodgy deals or just being unclear about what direction we're moving in or how exactly we're using this money. Or again, if it's a relationship, it's like how are we moving forward, and then maybe finding out that there's been some things going on that if you know they were going on, you would have maybe cut it some time ago. So the Seven of Swords, like that's sneakery, potential thievery, just lying or stealing ideas, that kind of thing. And yeah, let's get a bit more clarity for you, Aquarius. Okay, so walking away, getting that sense of walking away from the situation, making a decision, cutting something out, it will offer you a great amount of clarity and a new beginning, emotionally speaking. Ace of Cups, a new beginning, like flourishing. It's like something where you've been unsure about it going on, and finally the truth is revealed. Finally the truth gets exposed, and you're like, oh, okay, yep, this is what's going on. Kind of brutal on some level, but it offers a great amount of clarity once you get to the other side, once you embrace that this isn't the direction, this is definitely not it. So I'm gonna choose my emotional well-being, or I'm gonna choose to really trust my own internal knowing as far as like how I want to move through the world, what I want to create, how I want to feel. And this is really interesting because it's like this is something that's been causing you strife. This is something that's been causing anxiety, not enjoying the work environment or not trusting certain people in the work environment, and then cutting it loose and almost immediately sleeping better, feeling better. And again, this could be maybe an addiction. Like you finally are like, you know what? I'm done with that vice. I'm, gonna use my phone less. I'm gonna cut smoking out. I'm gonna stop drinking. I'm gonna whatever, change my diet. So there's changes that you're wanting to make that as soon as you cut that thing out, everything starts to improve. Plus, you're having a new beginning around your sense of self. So what other messages do we have for Aquarius? Divine guidance and loving clarity for Aquarius. Okay, so there's more clarity around the situation for a good few of you. The clarity comes through Emperor reverse. So what you're, this is probably like a toxic work situation where the boss is undermining your work, or the boss is just not easy to work for. So again, making a decision to cut it loose is like judgment upright. This is like a positive kind of shift for you to walk away from something that you know just isn't right for you, isn't good for you. And again, that decision card is the power play as far as getting that sun. You've got judgment and the sun upright for choosing yourself, for choosing a new beginning. In Ace of Cups to me is like that flourishing opening of all the elements too. Like it's sort of like opening ourselves up to greater mental clarity, to greater physical well-being, to greater potential for abundance, positive work, etc. Like, because it's this renewal of, this is my heart, my feels, my life, this is how I want to feel. And you've learned some powerful lessons here. It's that interconnectivity of life that if we might think we can compartmentalize things, and yet there's impacts that happen, right? So if we're having a really hard time at work, that impacts our financial life, it impacts our mental, emotional, it impacts our home life. So maybe for some of you, this has been a bit all-consuming. And as we're having these astrological squares and this sort of Venus conjunction, there could be a belief system, maybe of a training, something that you're going through, that you're undertaking, that was designed to teach you lessons, maybe on some level, on multiple levels possibly, and then you choosing to feel better. I just know it's not this. I want to feel better. I can't deal with that toxicity, or I don't want to deal with that person anymore. Like liberates you to embrace all the goodness that wants to come into your life. Lovers, 4 of Wands. So establishing a new vision where it feels lighter, supported, and it's your vision, right? Like it's what you want for your life. So yeah, it's funny. It's like going through the other door makes you the emperor of your own life. And like I do connect Aquarius energy to a bit of a boss energy too. Like you're very unique, you're very independent, you know how you want to run things, and yet you do want to run things for the greater good. You want things to be of service and of benefit to everybody, and you're aware now that people who play games, or people that have underlying wounding and insecurities that they haven't quite healed or dealt with, that comes through their working ethic, right? It comes through how they show up in every area of their life, right? So you can't deny the individual and how they're operating. And once you see certain things, you're just like, oh man, it's like a boss that just takes your ideas and takes credit for them. You know, like you share because they're your boss, but then they, right? So it's like these sorts of things, hence creating anxiety. Like you're not going to be able to push through this. You're not be able to maybe crack this person, because it's Emperor reversed, abuse of power, and aligned with the devil. So there's a sense of like that energy is that's a stronghold energy that like I mean like maybe for some of you it's about making the decision, like I'm gonna, you know, stick this, or maybe even face it down. For some of you, the judgment, I'm getting like a different angle. Like some of you might I'm thinking like maybe some of you are going to take somebody to court, but that's that's maybe like a couple of you, but not a dominant theme. But there is maybe a sense of some of you facing it down. Again, that could create a boss energy, obviously, if you win a powerful court case. I'm just looking at different. Ooh, Aquarius. So for some of you, this change really could. There's like all those cards were quite deeply like spiritual awakening, like this is all part of your spiritual journey. And trusting your intuition, the unseen realms, right? Like that's part of the dwelling in the void, the silence, so-called being more spiritual, is that, from a old paradigm perspective, it sometimes might appear illogical. Like some people don't understand that way of relating, right? So I think you guys are going through a pretty hardcore shift. It's like, because there's always polarity within that, so it's like you're developing a greater sense of your higher consciousness, like your star seed energy, light worker energy, divine purpose, divine connection. But that's also, for a lot of you, probably spurred on some inner alchemy and some shadow work and some deep emotional work that again brings about that renewal, brings about that sense of like more of who you are. As that more of who you are comes through, the parts of you that once aligned with certain circumstances in your life no longer align, or things that you once tolerated, you're like, oh, I don't want to tolerate that anymore, or I just can't tolerate that anymore. I'm gonna pull one more card from the Osho deck. Saw the energy of postponement. Right. Okay. So there is possibly like that fear coming up of like, oh no, maybe it's safer. Just be aware of that. Like that energy of postponement, this energy, it's almost like, oh, I'm too frightened. Maybe it's safer, but look how the rainbow, that technicolor, like that other world is kind of touching up against you. But there's still that pull of like, maybe I'm safer on this side. Maybe I'm safer not stepping into the color, not stepping into this new world. And then the cards for clarity, because I was wondering if this card was going to come again, and it did. But the clarifying cards are your spiritual connection, a higher consciousness, and then be open to receive it. Ooh, Aquarius, I feel for you guys. Like there's some big shifts, and the cards are really more than likely this is a work life situation. And it's pretty clear here that there's some heavy-handed toxicity within that work environment. It could even be due with a specific boss type person in your life, and then you choosing to cut it loose. There again, for those of you, it's like discerning the resonation vibration, as it were, where again, even before you take the action, just feeling into it. When you feel in like, what does it feel like if I let this thing go? And it feels great, and you feel liberated and free and renewed. That's the sign. That's all the sign you need. Versus if I stay, am I going to feel gray and trapped and forlorn and disconnected from the vitality of life, right? So this those are those big break points where you're like, I've got to let this go, and then I've got to let that new energy come in. I've got to start to give myself permission to be the boss of my own life and the main character of my own life, because I would do it different, and I just can't align with how they're doing it or how that environment is working. And then that's making me think again on a broader collective level. This is all part of the process, right, of transformation on a global scale, as individuals opening up to that transformational power, not tolerating old ways of working of that are manipulative or that are corrupted, right, that just don't serve the better, higher purpose. Which again is a very intuitive thing, and a kind of something that's happening continually in the present moment, right, to realign us. It's, I think, part of the miraculous sort of beauty of life, and also the bittersweetness, or that kind of polarity. So Aquarius, that's your reading for December 2023. I'm looking forward to tuning in throughout the month and getting into the January 2024 readings. I'm suspecting that the tone's gonna continue to kind of morph and change. And I'm also putting it out there to, when I remember, whether you guys would like a year ahead reading for the all signs. Yeah, let me know if that would suit you. I'm kind of intrigued to give that a go. So yeah, year ahead reading, but for now we do the monthlies, the weeklies, and the dailies. And I do obviously the weeklies and the monthlies get put out to the Patreons first, among other little intuitive shares and little yoga sessions and stuff like that. So feel free to join the Patreon community. I do think you get a free trial, like a 7-day free trial or something like that. But feel free to check all that out. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys next month. Have a really good month of December, Aquarius. I'll see you soon. Take care.